So in this tutorial, we're going to take a look at continuing our state machine. Now, what's really nice about our state machine, or creating additional states, is that you create a class, and each class sort of controls each individual state. So a win state, a lose state, so on. And because, if we go back to our state base, because our classes have to be they use the same states as you discovered from the last one. Like, they have to actually include all of these different methods. They sort of look exactly the same, which is nice for clean code writing. So what we're going to do is edit first our begin state here, and then we're going to duplicate it 3 more times, and then we're going to rename each one of those scripts. So let's first make a reference to our state manager. So I'm just going to write state manager, and then I'm going to create a variable called manager, and I'm going to make this private because I don't want any other script to edit it. Now, inside of my constructor here, what I want to do is pass in this state manager. I want to pass in, so we're going to call this ref manager. So all we're doing here is we're creating another variable here that's going to hold a reference, that's going to allow us to access the elements in our state manager. And what we're going to do here is tie them together by saying manager equals ref manager, semicolon. So essentially this manager is the same as this. We're just tying them together. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S and save this. Let's go ahead and jump back into Unity. And within our begin state here, we're going to take a look at creating 3 more states and editing each one. So in my begin state, I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to rename it play state. So this is the state that's going to control all the gameplay. I'm going to highlight that, copy it. I'm going to open up play state. And if you remember from before, our C# scripts have to have the same name as our as the script. So let's allow that to open for a second. And you can see our play state is called begin state. So we're going to change that here. We're going to change the name of our constructor here. And then we're going to do hello from play state constructor. So we changed it in 3 areas. The play state here, play state for the class, and then we just changed it in here as our test. And again, we are okay because we have the same 2 methods from here to here. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and make this show with, and I'm going to save that. And then in my begin state, I'm going to go back and change that to show with, save that, and then on my play state, I'm going to go back in and save that. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and close play state here, and then we're going to make one called one state. So here's play state. I'm going to hit Control D on that. Click once, type in WONSTATE for one state, copy that, open up that script, and then in my one state script, make sure that opened. Here's my one state script. I'm going to go ahead and change playtest to one state, and then one state for my constructor, and then one state here. And I'm going to save that. Alright, I'm going to close that off. Do that one more time, and I'm going to create another C# script. I'm going to call that lose state. And again, I'm just duplicating these scripts by hitting Control D. Sure, this. And notice how I'm just highlighting, copying it, opening it up, and I'm changing it from here to lose state, my constructor, lose state, and then one state here to lose state. And I'm going to save this. Okay. Now let's take a look at adding some code in each one of these guys. Okay? So let's start with our lose state here. So with that script open, we're going to do some coding that allow us to sort of switch between the different states. Now, normally you would let the program do this automatically based on reactions and stuff in the game. Okay? But for us, we just want to do it through, we want to switch between these states by hitting the space bar so that we can kind of test this out. So I'm in my begin state right now, my begin state script. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert an if statement. And what it's going to do is it's going to detect if I press the space bar, it's going to call up a different state. Okay? So let's take a look at how we code that. If input dot key, let's do get key up dot key code. We want to do if input dot, yeah, let's do get key up. And get key up is a method. Key code dot space. We want to call our switch manager. So we need, in order to do that, within the state manager, we have to we have to use our dot syntax for that, essentially. So we're going to use our manager here, and type in manager dot, and as I type this, we're looking for switch state. And then we're going to do new. And because we're in our begin, we want to actually play. So we're just going to call it, we're going to call our, this is a new element of play state. I'm going to put a semicolon here. And then what we're going to pass into this play state is the option from the manager here. So if we jump back into, remember our manager here is an element of state manager. So if we go into state manager here, you'll notice we don't have a switch state method yet. Okay, we haven't scripted that out yet, and we will after we update this code on each one. So what we can do at this point is really just copy this if statement from here. And then I'm just going to go to, we can just go ahead and go down we can go through each one of these. So for example, let's go down to into our play state now. So let's open that guy up. And in our state update, we're just going to repaste that code. Save that. Let's save this one as well. But we don't want to switch to play state here for our one state. We want to switch to our lose state. So I'm just going to name this lose state. Actually, let's have it switch to one state. So save this. Actually, let's get rid of this guy. This is going to give us an error. Let's make sure that that's not in our begin script either. So in our begin script, when we hit spacebar, we want to be in a state where we're actually playing the game. And then when we're playing the game, we want to switch to a state where we won. Now, if we win or lose, we always want to go back to the beginning. So we're going to copy this, and in our lose state, we're just going to paste this. And we're going to go back to the beginning, so begin state. Copy that. Let's space that out a little better, save it. And so that's our lose state. Here's our begin state. We've got that. Our play state. So we just need to do our one state. So let's open up that last script. And then here, paste that code, hit Control S. Let's jump back into Unity. So just like we expected, State Manager does not contain a definition for switch state, so we have to add that. So if we jump back in, here we go to our State Manager, and we just copy, or we just create a void switch state. Save that off. We shouldn't get any errors inside of Unity. And so it says it takes one argument. We haven't actually scripted our switch state yet. We'll do that in the next video.